Welcome to Echoes of History, where we revisit the past and question what we think we know.
Because sometimes the loudest legends leave out the quietest truths.
Today we're talking about Sparta. Not the Sparta from the movies, but the Sparta behind the myth. Close your eyes, Rae. When I say Sparta, what do you see?
That's easy. I see the movie 300. Red capes, muscles, shields, screaming, "This is Sparta." I see heroes who died for freedom.
That's the image. But what if I told you that Sparta's greatest enemy was not Persia? It was fear.
Fear? You're saying Sparta wasn't built on courage?
It was built on courage, yes, but it was sustained by fear. And most of that fear came from inside its own borders.
Okay, now I'm curious. Who were they afraid of?
The Helots.
Helots. That just means slaves, right?
Not exactly. The Helots were a conquered population, mainly Messenians, forced into state-controlled servitude. They worked the land and gave a large portion of their crops to Spartan citizens.
So they were agricultural slaves.
Yes, but here's the crucial detail. They vastly outnumbered the Spartans. Some ancient sources suggest ratios as high as 7 Helots for every one Spartan citizen.
7 to 1? That's not an empire. That's a hostage situation.
Exactly. Spartan society was not just designed for external war. It was structured to prevent internal rebellion.
So all that military training wasn't only about fighting Persia?
Not. It was about keeping control at home.
Let's talk about the agoge. That's the legendary Spartan training system.
Yes. The agoge was mandatory state education for Spartan boys. At age 7, boys left their families and entered communal training.
7 years old. That's still childhood.
In Sparta, childhood was brief. The system aimed to produce discipline, endurance, and loyalty to the state above family.
What did that actually look like?
Minimal food, basic clothing, constant physical drills. Boys were even encouraged to steal food to survive. If caught, they were punished, not for stealing, but for failing to avoid detection.
That sounds less like education and more like psychological conditioning.
Many historians describe it as social engineering. The goal was to remove softness and individualism.
Did they learn anything besides fighting?
Basic literacy, enough to follow orders, but cultural subjects, like philosophy or drama, were not priorities. Sparta valued obedience over creativity.
You mentioned fear earlier. How did the state actually control the Helots?
Through intimidation. There was an institution known as the Krypteia.
What was that?
A kind of secret police. Selected young Spartans were sent into the countryside with minimal supplies. Ancient sources suggest they targeted strong or influential Helots.
So it was surveillance and violence.
Yes. It reinforced a message. Rebellion would not be tolerated.
That makes Sparta look less like a warrior paradise and more like a police state.
That's one interpretation many modern scholars support.
We have to talk about Thermopylae.
Of course. In 480 BC, King Leonidas led 300 Spartan elite soldiers to block the Persian army at a narrow pass.
The ultimate last stand.
It was undeniably courageous. But Leonidas did not stand alone. Around 7,000 Greek soldiers from various city-states fought beside them at the beginning.
The movie leaves that part out.
It simplifies the story. The Spartans stayed and fought to the end, along with several hundred Thespians and others. Their stand bought time for the Greek alliance.
So they were heroes, but not isolated heroes.
Exactly. And their motivation was complex. They were defending Greek independence, but they were also defending a system that relied on Helot labor.
So the battle wasn't just freedom versus tyranny.
History rarely fits into such clean categories.
If Sparta was so disciplined, why did it collapse?
Demographics. To remain a full Spartan citizen, called a Spartiates, you had to meet strict requirements, including contributing to communal meals.
And if you couldn't?
You lost status. Over time, wars and rigid social rules reduced the number of full citizens dramatically. In the 5th century BC, there were thousands of Spartan citizens. By the 4th century, fewer than 1,000 remained.
That's not sustainable.
Not. Sparta was strong but inflexible. It resisted reform even when its population shrank.
Like iron that refuses to bend.
Yes. And iron that cannot bend eventually breaks.
There's one thing people always mention. Spartan women had more freedom than women in Athens.
That's true. Spartan women could own land, inherit property, and speak publicly more freely than their Athenian counterparts.
That seems unexpected in such a militarized society.
It was practical. With men constantly in training or war, women managed the estates.
So what ended Sparta's dominance?
The Battle of Leuctra in 371 BC. The Thebans used innovative tactics and defeated the Spartan army. Afterward, Thebes invaded Messenia and freed many Helots.
And without Helot labor,
the Spartan system collapsed. The economic foundation disappeared.
When I started this conversation, I admired Sparta's discipline. Now I see something far more complicated.
History often looks simple from a distance, but when you step closer, you see the cracks.
So maybe the real question isn't whether Sparta was strong. It's this. What kind of strength do we admire today?
Is it discipline at any cost? Control without compassion? Power without freedom?
Or do we believe that true strength must include humanity?
That's what we want to hear from you. Was Sparta a model of courage or a warning about fear?
Let us know what you think, because at Echoes of History, the past is never silent.
It echoes through every question we ask.